Welcome to this deep dive, where we'll be exploring some seriously mind-boggling scientific facts. You know those moments when you come across something so wild, it makes you question like everything you thought you knew.
Yeah, we're gonna dive deep into those wait, what
Yeah.
moments and like really break down the science behind them.
So imagine you're at a trivia night, right? And you're about to drop some serious knowledge bombs. But these aren't just random facts. These are insights that could like totally change the way you see the world, maybe even the universe.
Exactly. We're gonna explore why these facts matter, how they connect to the bigger picture, and what they reveal about the intricate workings of our universe.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about something we encounter every single day. Water.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, right? But here's the thing. Did you know that water is the only substance on Earth that naturally exists in all three states? Solid, liquid, and gas at, the temperatures and pressures we experience on like a daily basis.
It's one of those things that's so easy to overlook, but it's a fundamental anomaly in the world of physics.
Okay, so what's so strange about that? I mean, ice melts into water, water boils into steam. That's just how it works, right?
Right. Well, for most substances, density increases as temperature decreases. In other words, things get denser as they get colder, but water breaks that rule.
Mhm.
Think about ice. It floats on water because it's less dense than the liquid form, and this defiance of typical physical behavior is what makes water so unique.
So it's not just about ice cubes in our drinks. This has like bigger implications.
Absolutely. Imagine a world where ice sank.
What?
Lakes and oceans would freeze from the bottom up. Aquatic life wouldn't stand a chance, and our planet would be a very different place.
Wow, that's incredible. So this seemingly simple property of water is actually a fundamental reason for life on Earth as we know it.
Precisely, and it goes even deeper than that. Water's ability to transition between these states drives our climate shapes, our weather patterns. It's all interconnected.
Okay, get ready for this next one. It's about to get cosmic. Are you ready to hear that you are made of stardust?
It's not just a poetic notion, it's a scientific fact. Almost every atom in your body was forged in the fiery heart of a star billions of years ago.
Hold on, you're telling me that the atoms that make up my body, the calcium in my bones, the iron in my blood, that stuff all came from exploded stars.
Exactly. When massive stars reach the end of their life cycles, they explode in spectacular supernovae, scattering these newly formed elements across the cosmos.
Wow.
Over billions of years, this stardust coalesced, forming planets, including our own Earth and ultimately us.
So the next time I look up at the night sky, I'm not just seeing distant stars. I'm seeing the origins of my own existence. Well, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? We are literally children of the stars, connected to the vastness of the universe in a very tangible way.
Okay, I'm ready for another fact. Hit me with it.
Let's talk about bananas. Delicious, convenient, and slightly radioactive.
Wait, radioactive bananas. That can't be good for you.
Well, it's not as alarming as it sounds. Bananas contain potassium, which is essential for human health, but a tiny fraction of that potassium exists as potassium-40, a naturally occurring radioactive isotope.
So there's actual radiation in bananas. How much are we talking about here?
It's a very small amount. In fact, scientists use the banana equivalent dose, or BBD, to measure radiation exposure in a way that's relatable. You'd have to eat thousands of bananas at once to experience any harmful effects.
So a single banana isn't going to turn me into a superhero. That's a little disappointing, honestly.
Perhaps not, but it does highlight the fact that radioactivity is a natural part of our environment, present in many everyday things.
Okay, I'm ready for something a little less fruity.
Yeah.
What else do you have for me?
Let's shift gears and head to the coldest, driest continent on Earth, Antarctica. Did you know that it's actually classified as a desert?
Hold on, a desert? I always thought deserts were all about scorching sun and endless sand dunes. Antarctica is well covered in ice.
Deserts are technically defined by their lack of precipitation, not necessarily their temperature. And Antarctica, despite being covered in ice, receives less than 2 inches of precipitation per year, making it drier than the Sahara Desert.
That's fascinating. So those penguins are basically living the desert life, just with a very different wardrobe.
Indeed, it challenges our preconceived notions of what a desert can be.
Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Everything I thought I knew about the world is being turned upside down. What's next?
Let's explore the world of octopuses, the undisputed geniuses of the ocean.
Octopuses? They're pretty smart, I guess, but geniuses. What makes them so special?
Well, for starters, they have 3 hearts and blue blood. Their blood contains a copper-rich protein called hemocyanin, which is more efficient at transporting oxygen in cold, low-oxygen environments like the deep sea.
3 hearts and blue blood, that's straight out of science fiction.
Yeah.
But you said they're geniuses. What makes them so smart?
Their intelligence is truly remarkable. They have highly developed nervous systems, enabling them to solve complex puzzles, use tools, and even escape from seemingly secure enclosures.
Really? So they're like the Houdinis of the ocean.
Hmm.
I've heard stories about octopuses escaping from tanks in labs, but I always thought those were just exaggerated tales.
Not at all. Their problem-solving abilities and adaptability are well documented. They can change color and texture to blend seamlessly into their surroundings, making them masters of camouflage.
Wow, that's incredible. Like shape-shifting, puzzle-solving escape artists. I'm starting to feel a little intimidated by a creature that can outsmart me, even if it does have 8 arms.
Their intelligence is certainly a testament to the diversity and wonder of life on Earth. Speaking of unexpected connections, did you know that you share about 60% of your DNA with a banana?
Hold on, I share more DNA with a banana than I do with some of my relatives.
Well, it's not quite that simple. The shared DNA refers to the basic building blocks of life that are common to all living organisms. It's a testament to the fact that all life on Earth shares a common ancestor.
So even though we look and act very different from bananas, we're still connected on a fundamental genetic level.
Precisely. We are all part of the same intricate web of life, interconnected in ways that we are only beginning to understand.
Okay, that's actually pretty profound.
Uh,
I'll never look at a banana the same way again. All right, so we've explored this strange world of water, uncovered our cosmic origins in stardust, and even found radioactivity lurking in our fruit bowls. What other, mind-bending scientific facts are out there waiting for us?
Well, since you mentioned fruit bowls, let's stick with that theme for a second. Imagine you could have one food that would never go bad. Like, what would it be?
That's a tough one. Probably pizza or maybe chocolate. Okay, no, I'm changing my end. It has to be chocolate. Definitely chocolate.
Well, if you're looking for immortality in the snack world, you might want to consider honey. It's been called the immortal snack for a reason.
Wait, seriously? Honey never goes bad. How is that even possible?
It all comes down to its unique chemical composition. Honey has an incredibly low moisture content and a very high acidity. This creates an environment where bacteria just can't survive.
So it's like nature's own preservation system.
Exactly. It's so effective that archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are thousands of years old and still perfectly edible.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like a time capsule of flavor. I'll never look at a honey jar the same way again.
Speaking of time, let's take a trip to a planet where time takes on a whole new dimension. Venus, ready for another mind bender. A day on Venus is longer than its year.
Hold on, did I hear that right? You're telling me that a day on Venus lasts longer than it takes for the planet to orbit the sun?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Venus rotates incredibly slowly. So a single day there lasts about 243 Earth days, but its orbit around the sun takes only about 225 Earth days.
Okay, that completely changes my understanding of time. Imagine having to wait longer for sunrise than you do for your birthday.
It certainly makes our 24-hour day here on Earth seem like a breeze.
Next up, let's dive into the world of one of the ocean's most iconic inhabitants. Sharks. We've all heard about their fearsome reputation. But did you know they've been around for a very, very long time?
To say the least, sharks have been cruising the oceans for over 400 million years, making them older than dinosaurs, older than trees, even older than the rings of Saturn, which are thought to be relatively young in astronomical terms.
Wow, they're practically living fossils. That means they survived the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs? They've seen it all.
They have indeed, and they haven't just survived. They've thrived. Sharks have weathered 5 mass extinction events, demonstrating their remarkable adaptability and resilience.
That's incredible. So they're not survivors, they're champions of evolution.
Yeah.
But what about their role in the ocean today? They're often portrayed as these terrifying predators, but what's the bigger picture?
Well, that fearsome reputation is often exaggerated. Sharks are actually crucial for maintaining the health of ocean ecosystems as apex predators. They help regulate populations of other marine animals, keeping the entire food web in balance.
So they're like the guardians of the ocean. It's amazing how a creature that can seem so scary is actually so important for the balance of nature.
It's a reminder that everything in nature is interconnected. Even creatures we might fear play a vital role in the delicate web of life.
Okay, now for a science fact that you can test right in your own kitchen. Have you ever noticed that hot and cold water sound different when you pour them?
It's subtle, but it's definitely there.
I've always just assumed it was my imagination, but you're telling me there's something more to it.
It's all about a property called viscosity, which is a measure of a fluid's resistance to flow. Hot water has lower viscosity than cold water, which means its molecules can move more freely.
So the hotter the water, The less sticky it is and the easier it flows.
Exactly. And those faster moving molecules in hot water create a higher pitched sound when you pour it compared to the lower pitched sound of cold water.
That's incredible. So it's like the water molecules are creating music and the temperature is changing the pitch. I'll never listen to the sound of running water the same way again.
It's all around us, speaking of connections. Prepare to have your mind blown one more time. Did you know that you share about 60% of your DNA with a banana?
Wait a minute, you're telling me I'm part banana? Should I be worried about turning yellow?
Not quite what we share with bananas, and indeed with all living organisms, are the basic building blocks of life, the genetic code that dictates how our cells function. This shared DNA reflects our common evolutionary history.
So it's like we're all distant relatives on the tree of life, even if some of those relatives are a little peelable.
Exactly. It's a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life on Earth, the deep ties that bind us together from the smallest microbe to the largest whale, and yes, even to the humble banana.
Okay, this next one is about to mess with my sense of time again, isn't it?
Yeah.
You mentioned Venus earlier, the planet where a day is longer than a year. What else can you tell me about this topsy-turvy world?
Well, imagine a world where the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. That's Venus. It rotates in the opposite direction to Earth and most other planets in our solar system.
Whoa, a planet that spins backward. That's just wild. Why is Venus such a rebel?
Scientists believe that a massive collision early in Venus's history might have caused it to flip its rotation.
A cosmic fender bender that flipped an entire planet. That's incredible. It makes you wonder what other dramatic events have shaped our solar system.
Speaking of dramatic events, let's talk about creatures that have witnessed some of the most dramatic changes on our own planet. Sharks. These incredible creatures have been around for over 400 million years. They've survived multiple mass extinction events, including the one that wiped out the dinosaurs.
That's right, we talked about that earlier. It's amazing to think they were swimming in the oceans when the continents were in completely different positions. They've literally seen the world change around them.
Their longevity is a testament to their evolutionary success. Sharks have developed incredible adaptations that have allowed them to thrive in a wide range of environments.
What kind of adaptations are we talking about? What makes them such ultimate survivors?
Well, for one thing, they have an incredible sense of smell. Some species can detect prey from miles away, even if it's just a tiny drop of blood in the water. They also have a sixth sense called electroreception, which allows them to detect the electrical fields generated by the muscle movements of their prey.
Whoa, that's like having built-in radar for finding food.
Yeah.
It's no wonder they've been around for so long.
Yeah.
But they're not just eating machines, right? What else can you tell me about their behavior?
Sharks are actually quite social creatures. Many species live in groups and communicate with each other through a variety of signals, including body language and even subtle electrical impulses.
So they're not just these solitary predators lurking in the depths. They actually have complex social lives.
Exactly. It's yet another reminder that there's always more to learn about the natural world, even about creatures we think we know well.
Okay, one last scientific wonder for this part of our deep dive. This one has to do with sound. Have you ever noticed that hot and cold water sound different when you pour them?
It's a subtle difference, but it's definitely there, and it all comes down to the way the water molecules are behaving.
I've always thought it was my imagination, but you're telling me there's actual science behind this?
Absolutely. As we discussed earlier, hot water has lower viscosity than cold water. That means its molecules move more freely and create less friction when they flow.
So the smoother flow of hot water results in a higher pitched sound. It's like the water molecules are singing in different keys depending on the temperature.
That's a great way to put it. It's these kinds of everyday observations that make science so fascinating.
All right, we're back. And, my brain is still like buzzing from all the mind-blowing facts we've uncovered so far. We've traveled from the depths of the ocean to the farthest reaches of the cosmos. And it seems like the deeper we dive, the more incredible things we find.
It's true, the universe is full of surprises, and we've got a few more waiting for you in this final part of our deep dive.
Bring it on. I'm ready to have my mind expanded even further.
Well, let's revisit a topic we touched on earlier, Venus, Earth's, enigmatic sister planet. We've talked about its long days, backward rotation, and, pretty hellish surface conditions. But there's another fascinating fact about Venus that really challenges our understanding of time. Remember how we said a day on Venus is longer than its year?
Yeah, that was one of the first things that blew my mind in this deep dive. It's hard to imagine a world where the sun rises and sets less often than you celebrate your birthday.
Well, here's where it gets even weirder. If you could stand on the surface of Venus, and ignoring the fact that you'd be instantly crushed and incinerated, you would see the sun rise in the west and set in the east.
Wait, what? The sun would rise in the west. That's completely backward. Why does Venus do everything in reverse?
It all comes down to its unique rotation. Venus rotates in the opposite direction to Earth, and most other planets in our solar system, scientists believe this backward spin might be the result of a massive collision early in its history.
So a cosmic fender bender billions of years ago flipped an entire planet. That's incredible. It makes you wonder what other dramatic events have shaped our solar system and led to the, strange and wonderful worlds we see today.
Speaking of strange and wonderful worlds, let's dive back into our own oceans and explore the incredible diversity of shark species. We've talked about their ancient lineage, their incredible adaptations, and their important role in maintaining healthy ecosystems. But with over 500 different species of sharks swimming in our oceans, there's always something new to learn about these fascinating creatures.
I'm all ears. What other shark secrets are you ready to reveal?
Well, let's talk about size. When we think of sharks, we often picture massive great whites or menacing tiger sharks. But did you know that the smallest shark species is only about 8 inches long?
Really, a shark that's smaller than my hand.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
What's this pocket-sized predator called?
It's called the dwarf lantern shark, and it lives in the deep waters off the coast of Colombia. It's bioluminescent, meaning it can produce its own light, which it uses to attract prey and communicate in the dark depths. Wow, a tiny glowing shark. That's just too cool. It makes you realize how diverse the shark family really is. It's not all about giant teeth and fearsome reputations.
Exactly. And speaking of diversity, let's talk about another incredible aspect of shark biology. Their senses, we've already discussed their incredible sense of smell, electroreception, and hearing. But did you know that some species of sharks can also see in color?
Wait, sharks can see in color. I always thought they were colorblind, just seeing the world in shades of gray.
It's a common misconception. While not all shark species see color the same way we do, some have been shown to have color vision, which likely helps them hunt and navigate their surroundings.
That's fascinating. Makes you wonder what the world looks like through a shark's eyes.
It's a reminder that there are so many different ways of perceiving the world, and each species has its own unique perspective.
Okay, I'm ready for one last mind-blowing science fact to wrap up this deep dive. What else have you got for me?
Let's talk about something that's right under our noses, or rather on top of our heads. Hair. Did you know that human hair is incredibly strong? A single strand of hair can support the weight of about 100 grams, which is about the weight of a small apple.
Really? I never thought of hair as being particularly strong. It seems pretty fragile to me.
Well, on an individual level, a single hair is relatively delicate, but when you consider the collective strength of all the hairs on your head, it's pretty impressive.
So if I had enough hair, I could theoretically use it to lift heavy objects. That's a superpower I never knew I wanted.
Perhaps it's a reminder that even the most seemingly ordinary things can have surprising properties.
Well, this deep dive has been an incredible journey through the world of science. We've uncovered hidden wonders, challenged our perceptions, and expanded our understanding of the universe and our place within it.
It's been a pleasure sharing these fascinating facts with you. Hopefully, you've come away from this deep dive with a renewed sense of curiosity and a thirst for more knowledge.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never stop being amazed by the incredible world we live in. After all, the universe is full of wonders just waiting to be discovered.